Hey guys, Capiche67 here, Itsagoal advisor, and welcome to the second in a series of Itsagoal tutorials. Today we're going to be grasping the concepts of getting to know our team, squad, staff, etc. I know it's been a long time since the last tutorial, but I've had a lot on my plate, so let's carry on where we left off. Last time we talked about getting started, setting up an account. Today we are going to look at our squad. So, obviously, we're going to want to go to the squad tab. We want to get to know our team. Now, basically, this takes you to a page called Squad Home. This is basically the center where you can take an overview of your squad. You can see the statistics, leading goal scorers, etc. It's basically a summary of your squad. Now here, in the squad statistics box, we can see that the size of our squad is 23. That means we have 23 players. And that is a healthy number of players to have in your squad. Because if you go too low on your number of players, say get down to 17 players, then your board will actually get quite annoyed with you and keep sending you messages telling you to sort it out. You go down to 16 players, you're in deep stuff, and really, you don't want to be going that low because you can get sacked if you go too low. If you go down to 15 players, you're a bit screwed and you're going to have to use the youth academy or buy a player from the transfer market. We can see that we're spending 37.1 thousand credits a day on wages, and that's a pretty healthy amount to be spending on wages. Really, when it gets up into 100k, then you get a little bit worried. Getting to 200k and you're not getting a valid income, that's when you should start getting worried. And warning here, when you join a club, it will usually be pretty good, the wages, but it will get harder because players will want better contracts, etc. And this will go up in time. You can also see the mentality rating, technical rating, and physical rating of your team. This basically takes the mental, technical, and physical statistics of your players and averages them out. As you can see, we're in 2 blocks for each one there. That's not very good actually, it's a bit below par. The average rating though, so basically these bracket numbers, which means the average rating of the entire player's overall statistics averaged, is in the 3 block, so that's not really bad, but it isn't too good. It doesn't mean we'll be competing up there quite yet. To do that, you really need to be in the 6, 7 block, maybe, definitely 8 and 9 block will be able to do that. It's never been achieved that you really get a 10 block because there never really are 100 rated players. The average ratings are technically out of 100, but I'm yet to see an 100 rated player. So basically, we look at our highest rated players here, and it shows that Tristão Coutiga, Fidel Escobar, Erasmo Bernal, Bob Barton, and Alan Underhay are our best players in terms of rating. However, don't just judge your players from their overall rating. You also have to judge them on age and their valuable contract, how valuable their contract is. Because if their contract doesn't really reflect their skill, then you've got a bit of a problem there. You don't want a 12 rated player being on 3k a week, do you? So as you can see here, Tristão Coutiga is 59 rated, whereas Fidel Escobar is 51 rated. However, since Fidel Escobar is 26 years old, he is less likely to retire than the 32-year-old Tristão Coutiga. And this basically makes Fidel Escobar part of my long-term plans, and Tristão Coutiga less so. He's probably going to retire soon, as strikers do tend to retire earlier than defenders, or at least they have in my experiences. And basically, you can expect a player to start planning his retirement from the ages of, I'd say, 32 to 36 years old. You get some that are younger, you get some that are older, but they usually fall under that bracket for planning their retirement. As you can see, the wages are really low. Fidel Escobar has a wage of 960. Now that wage is really only fit for a youth player, so next time he wants his contract to be renewed, he's going to want more, but don't worry about that because you'll be getting income, but we'll talk about that in another tutorial. And you can also see who your leading goal scorers are. As expected, Kutiga is the leading goal scorer with 7, and then you've got your yellow cards and red cards to see who's been the most naughty. And you can get a more comprehensive report by looking at the leading goal scorers tab. It shows you basically how often they're scoring and what games they're scoring in. Same goes for player discipline, how often they're getting a card, what card they're getting, what competition they're getting in it, and how many appearances. There are also squad tools here where you can download your statistics in the form of an Excel document. However, you must be subscribed for this. Now we move on to the squad manager. This is your main center of control for your entire squad. As you can see here, we've got all of our players fully listed with the country of origin. So as you can see, El Cade is Scottish, Underhays English, etc. And it shows their age, 29, 34, 26, 34. Basically shows how old they are. You've also got con here. This means how many days are remaining on their contract. They all have at least a season left here because a season is 70 days. Bianchi there being right on the borderline of having almost just less than a season. And you've also got the wage, as you can see here, 5.4k, etc. This shows basically who is sapping your bank account the most. This here is insurance. Insurance is basically you apply it to a player. We'll take a closer look later. You apply it to a player, so if they get injured, you don't have to splash out as much cash. And here, the estimated value and the market value shows basically how valuable your players are. The estimated value tends to be different to the market value because obviously statistics get very distorted in the market, and players can go for quite a lot of money when the estimated value dictates they shouldn't. But you know, that's all part of tactics, and that will be covered in the transfer tutorial. And TL here means whether they are transfer listed or not. Nobody is transfer listed at the moment because I can't transfer list anybody at the moment because I've only just joined this team. And when you just join a team, you get a transfer embargo of 7 days. It used to be 21 days, but now it's 7 to make the game much more exciting for newcomers. So basically, from here, you can actually, you know, renew a player's contract, check how they're doing, etc. in terms of statistics. You've got your tabs here. This basically just shows more extensive reports of contracts. That shows whether you're in talks with them or not, and whether they have a match highest wage clause or not. LK does have, which is a bit of a problem. Match highest wage clause is basically that player, no matter what rating they are, they will always have the wage of the highest paid player, which is not a good thing to have on a player. So you'd probably want to get rid of that player, sell him on before you bring in the big boys who want lots of money. And it shows their appearance fee. This is basically how much you will pay every time they play. And you've also got your insurance table here. Basically shows what insurance people have and how many days is left, what level it is. And statistics shows how many appearances, goals, etc. It's just a more comprehensive report. The attribute summary basically shows the mental, physical and technical ratings of your players. The higher they are, the better, obviously. As you can see here, LK has 20 mental, 18 for his physical and 15 for his technical. That's not very good. However, whereas Escobar, who is a much superior player, has 62, 46 and 34. These help contribute to the player's overall rating, but they don't make it up entirely. So if I go back to the squad manager overview and click on a player whilst in this screen, I'll click on our top goal scorer Kutiga, This shows a summary of the player right here. It shows what club he's part of, shows his position, squad number, country, estimated value, all the stuff that was really put in the table, with the exception of some more information such as, oh dear me, I've pressed, right. With the exception of, it shows basically more information. We have here what foot he likes to use. He likes to use right. It shows how many injuries he's had in his career, so basically tells you how injury prone he is. And it also shows his squad status. He's for some reason in the reserve squad, so whoever had this team before, or maybe the vacant manager, has made a mistake there, really. And basically it shows you all the attributes. Here you have variable attributes. These are basically what condition your player's in. His form is full, that means he's been playing really well recently. His fatigue is 1 block, which means he's not that tired at all, so he doesn't really need a rest in training. His mental rating is quite high. His physical and his technical rating are sort of in the middle. You've got the match fitness is full, you've got morale is full, meaning he's quite a happy player. You've got his fitness full, which means he's not injured, and his experience is on the way up. However, his fixed attributes here, these cannot be changed, and how good they are affects how much progress your player will make. As you can see here, all of his fixed attributes are pretty high on the bar scale, so he already has really made quite a lot of quite a lot of progress over his career. And here finally you have trainable skills. This is basically all the things with the physical, technical and mental that make up his overall rating. So by looking at this, you can see what he needs to train on, what he's already good at. As you can see, he's pretty good at timing, set pieces, pace, heading, distribution, concentration, awareness, etc. But his handling, obviously he doesn't really need it because he's not really a goalkeeper. His handling is a bit off, but obviously he's never going to need that. Nor his clearance really, because he's probably going to be up the field. However, if you go down here, you'll see his tackling is only a 3 bar, so you'll probably want to train him on tackling for a bit to improve that. Or you could just train him on a training match to improve everything at a slower pace. Now you've got some more tabs for each player. You've got his contract status. Basically, this is where you can terminate his contract completely. That means the player will leave the next day and you'll have to pay his remaining wages, or you can start negotiations. I'm not going to click on that really because I don't want to start negotiations with him. However, if you do that, he will ask you for a wage and an appearance fee, etc. You can decide whether you agree with it or not and offer him the contract. And regarding how well you've satisfied his needs, that sounds wrong, he will either accept or decline. If he declines, it's back to the drawing board, and if his contract runs out, that's it, he's gone. And here you have insurance. We said we'd take a closer look at this. This is basically obviously the medical cover. You've got your bronze, silver and gold. Bronze covers medical fees, silver covers medical fees and player wages, and gold also covers player fee compensation at a career end. So that's pretty good. If you have some insurance, that means you won't have to fork out as much money when you when they get injured, etc. So what I'm going to do is, just to demonstrate this, I'm going to get a 35-day bronze, a 35-day bronze insurance for him. This costs not a lot, 500 credits, so confirm that. And there we go, he's insured. He now has 35 days, that's half a season of bronze medical cover, his medical fees. There's also the transfer tab. Obviously, as I said, I have the transfer embargo, so I can't use this. But basically, you would ask for an asking price, a reserve price, and you'd also select what minimum transfer rating for buying managers would be. Now, that basically, each manager on the game has a manager transfer rating ranging from 10 being really good and trustworthy, minus 10 being quite untrustworthy. that basically means the more they mess up and fall through on offers, the worse their transfer rating will be. So to avoid untrustworthy buyers, you would put it at, say, 10. So you'd only want a perfect buyer buying your player. And obviously after that, you would have to enter your password just to make sure that you're not an intruder. And basically, what's left after that is the history. You can look at the history of the player, all the clubs they've been to, and the appearances and goals they've scored. Coutigue's only ever played for FC Blackpool. He's made 179 appearances and 62 goals, but some players have been from team to team, and they'll have a whole list. Statistics. This basically shows you what he's done all season. Appearances, it's more just basically attributes, well, not attributes, but statistics, such as appearances, minutes in play, man of the match, how many goals they've scored, etc. But you can also look at career statistics, which shows what they've done throughout their entire career as a footballer, so their entire time in the game. These statistics are obviously much larger. He's made 175 appearances in the league. That contributes to 15,653 minutes of play. That's including injury time, etc. So, after that, you have your training. This is where you put your coaches to the test. You can see which are your most improved players. As you can see, Andreadis has been making the most improvements, whereas Unker he's not been doing too well. Neither's Underhay. They've actually gone down. However, to manage all this, you click on your assignments tab. You give them assignments such as training match. That includes them all. Look in the help section online to see basically what all of these do. There's long range passing and cross country, just to see what they all improve. Sorry, I had to cough. Now you see the fatigue rating, etc., how tired they are, how fit they are, their match fitness, and basically you can rest the players accordingly. You can also make a schedule. I'm not a big user of this, but you can create a schedule where you basically put time. You basically make a weekly schedule. So you say Monday from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock you will do long range passing, etc. So basically you don't have to manage everything. This means you don't really have to go in and rest them all the time, as long as you're resting, say, on a Sunday or something. And then you can look at your coaches and see basically how good they are. We've just got one coach, Dean Merengini. He's not that good of a coach, really. He's only a one block. To get better improvements, you will need better coaches. I went blank. And obviously the treatment room, this is where you look, you can check out your physio, see how good your physios are. Once again, Oliveira is not a very good physio. He's going to take longer to cure your players of injuries. However, there's nobody who has a long-term injury, etc. So basically on this page you would see basically how bad the injury is and how long it's going to take for your player to recover. And finally, the youth academy. We'll leave this for now, and I'll do an entire tutorial on it. This tutorial is getting too long. Thanks for watching, and I hope you know the ins and outs of your squad, or at least are beginning to. Thank you for watching, and join me next time for the youth academy.